Granola looks like the ultimate health food. Golden oat clusters, honey glaze, nuts, seeds. Your doctor probably even recommended it. But here is what they did not tell you. Some of the most trusted granola brands are hiding sky-high sugar levels, dangerous pesticides, and even heavy metals linked to kidney damage and heart strain. Today, we are exposing 9 granola brands you need to avoid at all costs, and the 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we have got Nature Valley Oats and Honey Granola. This is the granola you have seen in every grocery store aisle for decades. General Mills markets Nature Valley as wholesome, natural, and made with real honey. The packaging shows golden wheat fields swaying in the breeze and promises simple ingredients your grandmother would recognize. You can almost smell the fresh oats and taste that honey drizzle just looking at the bag. Sounds trustworthy, right? But here is what the label does not tell you. Independent laboratory testing found glyphosate residue in Nature Valley products. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup weed killer, and it has been classified as a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. According to testing by the Environmental Working Group, Nature Valley products contained glyphosate levels that exceeded what many scientists consider safe for long-term consumption. For seniors already managing chronic conditions, adding a potential carcinogen to your morning bowl is not the fresh start you were promised. But the chemical exposure is only part of the problem. Let us talk about what you can actually see on the nutrition label if you squint hard enough. A single serving of Nature Valley granola contains around 12 grams of sugar. That does not sound terrible until you realize most people pour double or triple that amount into their bowl. The crumbly golden clusters look so innocent sitting in your spoon, but suddenly your heart-healthy breakfast contains more sugar than a glazed donut from your local bakery. For seniors managing blood sugar levels or taking medications for diabetes, this is a serious concern. Blood sugar spikes from hidden sugars can interfere with insulin regulation and leave you feeling fatigued, dizzy, or worse. According to the American Diabetes Association, approximately 29% of adults over 65 have diabetes, making morning blood sugar control critical. The brand promises energy and vitality. The reality is a sugar crash by mid-morning that leaves you reaching for more food or feeling exhausted. And here is something else General Mills does not advertise. In 2016, they faced a class action lawsuit alleging their granola bars and cereals were falsely marketed as natural despite containing artificial ingredients and pesticide residues. The lawsuit cited internal documents suggesting the company knew about contamination issues, but continued marketing their products as wholesome alternatives. The company settled, but the core issues with their products remain. You trusted the name, you trusted the heritage, but behind those golden oat clusters, the truth tastes bitter. At number 8, we have Quaker Simply Granola. Quaker has been a household name for over a century. Your parents probably ate it. Your grandparents probably ate it. The Quaker man on the box looks honest, reliable, old-fashioned, with his friendly smile and simple hat. The word simply in the product name suggests pure, uncomplicated ingredients. Nothing artificial, nothing to worry about. But what Quaker considers simple might shock you. Let us start with sugar. Quaker Simply Granola contains approximately 13 grams of sugar per half-cup serving. That is more than Nature Valley, and we already established that was concerning. And just like before, portion sizes in real life rarely match the tiny serving suggestion on the box. The average cereal bowl holds significantly more than half a cup. Pour a normal bowl of this granola, add some milk or yogurt, and you could easily consume 30 or 40 grams of sugar before you have even finished your morning coffee. That exceeds the American Heart Association's recommended daily sugar limit for most adults. For seniors with high blood pressure, this sugar bomb creates a cascading effect. Excess sugar consumption is directly linked to increased blood pressure, weight gain, and inflammation. Research published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that high sugar intake can raise systolic blood pressure by up to 7 points. If you are already on blood pressure medication, starting your day with hidden sugars can undermine everything your prescription is trying to accomplish. Your doctor adjusts your medication based on expected dietary patterns. Hidden sugars throw those calculations off entirely. But sugar is not the only problem hiding in that wholesome-looking bag. Consumer reports and independent testing have repeatedly flagged Quaker products for concerning levels of glyphosate contamination. In fact, Quaker oats have appeared on multiple lists of products with detectable pesticide residues. The company insists their products are safe, but safe according to whose standards? The levels that American regulators consider acceptable are often higher than what European countries allow. Here is a question worth asking. Why do you think the FDA lets brands use ingredients and allow contamination levels that are banned or restricted in other countries? European regulators have far stricter limits on glyphosate, yet American seniors are told not to worry. The oats are fine, the granola is healthy. Keep buying, keep eating, keep trusting. But should you? But trust is hard to rebuild once broken. In 2022, Quaker issued a massive recall of various products due to potential salmonella contamination. The recall affected products distributed across the entire United States. Salmonella is particularly dangerous for seniors, causing severe dehydration, hospitalization, and in some cases, death. Adults over 65 have a significantly higher risk of developing serious complications from salmonella infection. If you had a bag of Quaker granola in your pantry during that time, you might have been eating breakfast with invisible bacteria hiding in every bite. The man on the box looks trustworthy. The product inside the box tells a different story. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free, and it means you will never miss these exposes. Now at number 7, we have Kind Healthy Grains Granola. Kind built their entire brand on transparency. Their slogan literally includes the word kind. Their packaging emphasizes whole grains, no artificial sweeteners, and ingredients you can see and pronounce. The bag even has a clear window so you can peek at those wholesome-looking clusters before you buy. For health-conscious seniors, Kind seems like the obvious choice. A brand that finally tells the truth. A brand that cares about your well-being. Except the reality does not match the marketing. Let us examine what Kind considers healthy. Their healthy grains. Granola contains around 10 grams of sugar per serving. Now, 10 grams sounds better than 12 or 13. But here is the catch. Kind uses multiple types of sweeteners in their granola, including cane sugar, honey, and rice syrup. When you add them all together, sugar becomes one of the primary ingredients by weight. The label looks cleaner because the sugars are split up and scattered throughout the ingredient list. This is a labeling trick that makes products appear healthier than they actually are. The FDA requires ingredients to be listed in order of weight, so by splitting sugar into multiple types, each one appears further down the list. For seniors managing prediabetes or full diabetes, this deception is dangerous. Your doctor told you to watch your sugar intake. You chose Kind because you thought you were making a responsible choice. But the blood sugar spike does not care about clever marketing. Your pancreas cannot tell the difference between cane sugar and rice syrup. Sugar is sugar, and Kind is hiding plenty of it behind ingredient list gymnastics. In 2015, the FDA actually sent Kind a warning letter stating that several of their products did not meet the regulatory definition of healthy due to high saturated fat content. The company was forced to remove the healthy label from some products. But here is the concerning part. Many consumers never heard about this. The brand rehabilitation happened quietly, and Kind continued marketing themselves as the healthy alternative. No splashy announcements about the FDA warning. No prominent changes to their advertising. Do you think recalls and warnings are accidents, or just the ones they actually got caught on? There is also the issue of sourcing and contamination. While Kind emphasizes quality ingredients, independent testing has found varying levels of consistency in their products. Some batches tested cleaner than others. For seniors whose health depends on consistency, especially those taking medications that interact with certain nutrients, this unpredictability is unacceptable. You need to know exactly what you are eating every single time, not just sometimes. The name says Kind, but hiding sugar behind clever labeling and ignoring FDA warnings is not kind at all. Most people never learn how to fix this. They keep buying the same granola, trusting the same brands, and wondering why their health is not improving. But there is a better way, and we will break it down at the very end of this video. Stick around because what comes next could change how you shop forever. Number 6 is Cascadian Farm Organic Granola. The word organic has become a magic spell in the grocery industry. Slap it on the box, charge an extra $3, and suddenly consumers believe they are buying something pure and untouched by modern agriculture. Cascadian Farm leans heavily into this illusion. Their packaging features lush green imagery, pristine mountain streams, and promises of organic whole grains grown without synthetic pesticides. You can almost hear birds chirping and smell fresh mountain air looking at the bag. But organic does not mean healthy, and it definitely does not mean safe. Cascadian Farm Organic Granola contains approximately 13 grams of sugar per serving. That puts it right alongside the conventional brands we have already discussed. Organic cane sugar is still sugar. Organic honey is still sugar. Your blood glucose levels respond the same way whether the sweetener came from a conventional farm or an organic one. The organic label changes nothing about how your body processes those sweet, crunchy clusters. For seniors managing heart disease or taking cholesterol medications, excess sugar consumption contributes to arterial inflammation. Over time, this inflammation accelerates plaque buildup in your arteries, increasing your risk of heart attack and stroke. Studies show that chronic inflammation from dietary sources like excess sugar can significantly worsen cardiovascular outcomes in adults over 60. The granola might be organic. The damage to your cardiovascular system is very real. But here is where Cascadian Farm's story gets more troubling. In 2017, the brand faced scrutiny when testing revealed that some of their products contained trace amounts of glyphosate, despite being certified organic. How does that happen? Cross-contamination during processing, drift from neighboring conventional farms, shared equipment that was not properly cleaned. Whatever the cause, the result is the same. You paid premium prices for organic peace of mind, and you got pesticide residues anyway. General Mills, the same company that owns Nature Valley, also owns Cascadian Farm. The organic branding is different. The parent company is identical, and the commitment to cutting corners seems consistent across their entire portfolio. When a single corporation controls both the budget brand and the premium organic option, quality distinctions often become more about marketing than actual manufacturing differences. Seniors trust organic labels because they want to protect their health. When that trust is violated, when organic products contain the same contaminants as conventional ones, it feels like betrayal. Because it is betrayal. At number 5, we have Bare Naked Granola. Bare Naked markets themselves as the fun, adventurous granola brand. Their bags feature playful designs and promise all-natural ingredients with no artificial preservatives. The messaging targets active, health-conscious consumers who want to fuel their outdoor adventures. You can picture hikers on mountain trails, runners crossing finish lines, and active grandparents playing with their grandchildren. But unless your adventure involves a trip to the emergency room, you might want to read the fine print. Sugar content varies across Bare Naked products, but some flavors contain over 14 grams of sugar per serving. That exceeds many conventional candy bars. Imagine pouring what you think is a healthy breakfast, only to consume the sugar equivalent of a chocolate treat. For seniors trying to manage their weight or control blood sugar, this is sabotage disguised as nutrition. The crunchy clusters taste good precisely because they contain more sugar than you would ever add to plain oatmeal yourself. The sodium content in certain Bare Naked varieties also raises concerns. While granola is not typically associated with high sodium, some flavored options contain more salt than you would expect. Seniors on restricted sodium diets, particularly those with hypertension or kidney disease, need to monitor every milligram. Hidden sodium in breakfast foods can push your daily intake over the limit before lunch even arrives. Your kidneys have to work harder to process that excess sodium, creating strain on organs that may already be compromised. Bare Naked is owned by Kellogg's, one of the largest food conglomerates in the world. The same company that produces Frosted Flakes and Pop-Tarts also makes Bare Naked. The packaging looks natural, with earthy colors and wholesome imagery. The corporate structure is industrial, and the ingredient priorities reflect that industrial mindset. Volume, shelf stability, and profit margins often take precedence over genuine nutritional quality. In 2018, Kellogg's faced a recall affecting multiple brands due to potential contamination. While Bare Naked was not directly named in that specific recall, the incident highlights the risks of mass production in centralized facilities. When one thing goes wrong, it can affect products across multiple brand names. Your bag of all-natural granola might share equipment with heavily processed cereals. The contamination potential is real. You wanted something wild and natural. What you got was corporate granola in a friendly disguise. Coming in at number 4, we have Kashi Go Lean Granola. Kashi has positioned itself as the thinking person's breakfast brand. Their messaging emphasizes plant-powered nutrition, whole grains, and protein. The marketing feels intellectual, sophisticated, almost scientific. For seniors concerned about maintaining muscle mass and bone density, the protein claims are particularly appealing. Finally, a granola that builds you up instead of breaking you down. At least that is what the marketing suggests. But let us look beneath the surface. Kashi Go Lean products often contain soy protein isolate as a primary protein source. While soy protein is not inherently dangerous, there are concerns for certain populations. Seniors taking thyroid medications should be aware that soy can interfere with absorption. Research suggests waiting at least 4 hours between taking thyroid medication and consuming soy products. Those with hormonal sensitivities may also need to limit soy consumption. The protein boost sounds healthy, but for some seniors, it could create medication complications that affect their overall treatment. Sugar content remains a persistent issue. Depending on the specific product, Kashi granolas can contain 8 to 12 grams of sugar per serving. Not the worst offender on our list, but still significant for seniors managing blood glucose levels. Every gram adds up when you are trying to maintain healthy A1C numbers. Here is where trust becomes complicated. Kashi is owned by Kellogg's. Yes, the same parent company as Bare Naked. And like other Kellogg's brands, Kashi has faced criticism over ingredient sourcing and contamination issues. In the past, Kashi products marketed as natural were found to contain genetically modified ingredients. The company faced lawsuits alleging false advertising. They eventually reformulated some products, but the damage to consumer trust was already done. Why is it that the same companies that fund heart-healthy studies are the ones selling ultra-processed products? The research they sponsor tends to support their products. The independent research often tells a different story. Seniors deserve better than sponsored science and marketing spin. Kashi promises plant-powered goodness. The reality involves corporate ownership, ingredient controversies, and sugar levels that undermine genuine health. When the label says, "Go lean," maybe it is time to lean away from this brand entirely. Stick around. The solution is at the very end, and it could change how you shop forever. Most people never find out which granolas are actually safe. You're about to be one of the few who knows the truth. Do not leave before we reveal the 2 brands worth buying. Number 3 on our list is Back to Nature Granola. Back to Nature positions itself as a return to simpler times. Their branding evokes nostalgia, promising real ingredients like your grandmother used. The packaging features muted earthy colors and vintage-style fonts that feel warm and familiar. For seniors who remember when food was food, this messaging resonates deeply. You want to go back to a time before chemicals and additives took over. Back to Nature says they will take you there. But nostalgia is not nutrition, and this brand has some explaining to do. Sugar remains the primary concern. Back to Nature granolas contain roughly 11 to 13 grams of sugar per serving, depending on the variety. That is comparable to the mainstream brands making no health claims whatsoever. The only thing you are going back to is elevated blood sugar. Your grandmother probably did not start her day with this much sweetener, despite what the nostalgic marketing implies. For seniors managing chronic conditions, the cumulative effect of daily sugar consumption is devastating. Consistent blood sugar spikes lead to insulin resistance over time. Insulin resistance increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and kidney damage. Studies indicate that adults who consume excess sugar daily have a 38% higher risk of dying from heart disease. Your doctor probably warned you about sugar. Back to Nature promises health but delivers the same sugary payload as conventional brands. Back to Nature is owned by B&G Foods, a massive conglomerate that also owns brands like Cream of Wheat and Green Giant. While none of these brands are inherently dangerous, the corporate structure raises questions about priorities. When the same company manages dozens of brands across different product categories, quality control becomes challenging. Sourcing becomes standardized, and individual brand promises become harder to verify. Independent testing has also raised questions about heavy metal contamination in various oat-based products. While Back to Nature has not been specifically recalled for this issue, the industry-wide concern applies. Oats grown in certain soils can absorb heavy metals like lead and cadmium from the ground. Chronic exposure to these metals is particularly dangerous for seniors, contributing to kidney damage, neurological issues, and increased cardiovascular risk. Your morning granola could be slowly accumulating toxins in your body. You cannot go back to nature when the soil is contaminated and the corporate structure is industrial. The name is a fantasy. The product is just another granola hiding behind clever marketing. At number 2, we have Purely Elizabeth Granola. Purely Elizabeth has become the darling of the wellness influencer community. Their products appear in trendy cafes, upscale grocery stores, and countless Instagram posts. The bags feature elegant fonts and sophisticated colors. The brand emphasizes ancient grains, superfood ingredients, and minimal processing. For seniors who want to eat like the health-conscious younger generation, Purely Elizabeth seems like the sophisticated choice. But sophistication comes at a cost, and not just the premium price tag. Let us examine the sugar situation. Depending on the variety, Purely Elizabeth granolas contain anywhere from 5 to 10 grams of sugar per serving. That is better than many competitors, but still significant for seniors watching their carbohydrate intake. The brand uses coconut sugar as a sweetener, marketed as having a lower glycemic index than regular sugar. While this is technically true, coconut sugar is still sugar. Your body still processes it. Your blood glucose still rises. The difference in glycemic index is minimal enough that most endocrinologists say it makes little practical difference for diabetics. The ancient grains and superfood marketing is also worth scrutinizing. Quinoa, amaranth, and chia sound impressive. These buzzwords look beautiful on packaging, but these ingredients are often present in small amounts, serving more as marketing points than nutritional game changers. The bulk of the product is still oats, sweeteners, and oils. You are paying a premium for a sprinkle of trendy ingredients. Cost presents another concern for seniors on fixed incomes. Purely Elizabeth products often cost 2 to 3 times more than conventional granola brands. For that premium, you expect significantly better quality and safety. But the core issues, sugar content, potential contamination, and industrial processing, remain present even at higher price points. The beautiful packaging cannot protect you from the problems inside. Why are seniors targeted with premium health labels when the products inside are not dramatically different from budget options? Is it genuine quality, or is it lifestyle marketing designed to make you feel virtuous while you pay more for similar ingredients? Purely Elizabeth makes beautiful granola, but beautiful does not mean safe, and premium does not mean pure. Coming in at number 1, the granola brand you should avoid most of all, we have Great Value Granola from Walmart. This might surprise you. Great Value is Walmart's store brand, and it is one of the most affordable granola options in America. Millions of seniors choose Great Value because the price is right. When you are living on a fixed income, saving $2 or $3 per grocery trip adds up. Social Security checks only stretch so far. The value proposition seems responsible, even smart. But here is what saving money can cost you. Great Value. Granola contains some of the highest sugar levels on our entire list. Certain varieties pack 15 or more grams of sugar into a single serving. That is more sugar than many desserts. Think about that. You could eat a small cookie and consume less sugar than a serving of this breakfast granola. For seniors managing diabetes or pre-diabetes, starting your morning with Great Value granola is like pouring sugar directly into your bloodstream. Your doctor works hard to manage your condition. This granola undoes that work before you even leave the house. But sugar is only part of the problem. Store brands often source ingredients from multiple suppliers to maintain low costs. This creates inconsistency in quality and increases the risk of contamination. When a product is manufactured across multiple facilities with varying standards, tracking food safety becomes exponentially more difficult. The granola in your bag today might come from a completely different source than the bag you bought last month. Independent testing has repeatedly flagged store brand products, including some Walmart brands, for higher levels of pesticide residues and heavy metal contamination compared to name brands. While Great Value granola has not been subject to a major publicized recall, the structural risks are present. The supply chain is opaque, the sourcing is price-driven, and the quality control is only as strong as the weakest supplier in the chain. Is it not strange how billion-dollar corporations keep having contamination issues and recalls, yet their products remain on every shelf? The regulatory system is designed to catch problems after they happen, not prevent them. For seniors, being the canary in the coal mine is not an acceptable trade-off for saving a few dollars. Your health is worth more than the cheapest option on the shelf. Great Value promises savings, but the hidden costs to your well-being are not printed on the price tag. Here is something worth discussing in the comments. Do you think the government protects consumers or the food industry? When you look at the recalls, the hidden ingredients, the contamination scandals, whose side does it seem like regulators are really on? Drop your thoughts below. Now, here is the good news. Not all granola is created equal. You do not have to give up on crunchy, satisfying breakfast clusters. You just need to know which brands actually prioritize your health over their profits. I promised I would reveal the safe options, and that moment has arrived. The first actual safe option is Grandy Oats Organic Granola. Grandy Oats is a Maine-based company that takes food safety seriously. Their granola is certified organic, and they source oats specifically tested for glyphosate contamination. Unlike large corporations that rely on complex, multi-facility supply chains spanning multiple countries, Grandy Oats maintains tight control over their production process. They know exactly where their ingredients come from and how they are processed. Sugar content is significantly lower than mainstream brands, with some varieties containing only 3 to 5 grams per serving. For seniors managing blood glucose levels, this makes a meaningful difference. You can enjoy your granola without the inevitable sugar crash. You can eat breakfast without worrying about your afternoon energy levels or your next blood sugar reading. Grandy Oats also emphasizes minimal processing. The ingredient lists are short, readable, and free from artificial preservatives. What you see is what you get. No hidden sweeteners scattered throughout the label. No industrial additives to extend shelf life at the expense of your health. When you read the back of the bag, you actually recognize every ingredient. For seniors with kidney concerns, the sodium content is also carefully controlled. Each serving contains minimal salt, allowing you to enjoy your breakfast without worrying about fluid retention or blood pressure spikes. Your kidneys will thank you. The company is transparent about their sourcing and frequently publishes third-party testing results. This level of accountability is rare in the food industry. When a brand voluntarily submits to independent verification, it signals genuine commitment to quality. Grandy Oats might cost slightly more than Great Value or store brands, but you are paying for actual quality, verified safety, and ingredients that support your health rather than undermine it. The second recommendation is Bob's Red Mill Pan-Baked Granola. Bob's Red Mill has built a reputation over decades for quality grain products. Their pan-baked granola continues that tradition with a focus on whole food ingredients and minimal processing. The company has been around since 1978 and remains employee-owned, which means decisions are made with quality in mind, not just shareholder returns. Unlike competitors who rely on industrial ovens and mass production, Bob's Red Mill uses a pan-baked process that allows for better quality control. Each batch receives more attention. The result is consistent texture, flavor, and nutritional content. You know what to expect every time you open a bag. Sugar levels vary by variety, but many options contain under 6 grams per serving. For seniors watching their carbohydrate intake, this positions Bob's Red Mill as a genuinely healthier choice. The sweetness comes primarily from natural sources like honey or maple syrup, used sparingly rather than dumped in to mask low-quality ingredients. Bob's Red Mill also tests for glyphosate and other contaminants. The company has been proactive about addressing food safety concerns that many competitors ignore or dismiss. When independent testing raised questions about oat contamination industry-wide, Bob's Red Mill responded with transparency and action rather than defensive denials. For seniors taking heart medications or managing cholesterol, the whole grain oats in Bob's Red Mill provide fiber that actually supports cardiovascular health. This is what granola was supposed to be before corporations turned it into glorified candy. The ingredient list is readable, the company is accountable, and the product delivers what the packaging promises. Not all granola is created equal. Some brands hide sugar, chemicals, and contamination behind wholesome packaging and empty promises. Others actually prioritize your health. Now you know the difference. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again. Every week, I will show you exactly what to avoid and what is actually safe to eat. Your health is too important to leave in the hands of corporations that put profits over people. Hit that subscribe button and let us protect your health together.